Complex debate surrounding migration in Australia is exposing harsh truths about our society and the economy. But as calls intensify for our migrant intake to be slashed, experts warn it could come at a cost that we may not be able to pay.
Migration helped build our modern nation. Now, a building debate is reshaping our modern politics.
I want an Australia that has the right population.
But what that is and how we get there is dividing the nation.
Mass migration is changing Australia for the worse.
Anti-migration rallies blame new entrants for social division while stoking their own, arguing migration drains the welfare system, dilutes our national identity and more.
Lack of housing is due to mass migration they've allowed to come into the country.
But experts say migrants are being unfairly blamed for problems created by poor government planning.
That's got to stop. This is the failure of policy and politicians to do what they need to do.
With birth rates at historical lows, migration is keeping our population growing and our economy going.
If we didn't have immigration, the Australian economy would have been in recession for about the last 2 years or so.
A big proportion of our essential workers are born overseas. 57% of GPs, 47% of surgeons, 43% of nurses, 40% of aged and disability carers, 37% of child carers, 37% of plasterers, 28% of building labourers and 52% of farm workers. As the temperature of the migration debate ratchets higher and higher, our political leaders promise to cut the intake lower and lower. Migration policy now shaping as the defining issue in the next election. Labor's net overseas migration target is 225,000 a year. The Coalition below 200,000, One Nation 130,000. Three different visions of how Australia should look. What sort of an Australia do you want?
I want an Australia that is united, one that has social cohesion at our core.
Not a big Australia, he says, but one with a big heart. Mark Riley, 7 News.
And tomorrow night in our Australian Next series, Boomtown, the parts of Melbourne struggling to keep up with our booming population.